What's going on, everybody? It's your boy FluffaNuttah back at it again with another video, and today I am going to be reviewing James Gunn's Superman. Now, I'm going to say right now, I'm not going to do a lot of spoilers in the beginning. I'm not going to really touch any spoilers, so you can watch this beginning part, but later on I will cover spoilers, so I'll have it separated in the chapter so you know which one's non-spoilers, which one's spoilers. That being said, I went to see this at 4:15 yesterday, the day of release, and even though there wasn't a lot of people there initially in the theater that I went to, there was a little bit more coming in for the later showing, so hopefully this movie still pops off, because I have a bit of a unique take on this movie. I came into the movie really worried, really thinking that I was gonna hate this movie, and you know, the marketing for this movie was absolutely dog shit. Whoever did the marketing for this movie absolutely sucked ass, and actually you've probably heard this a lot, but they misrepresented the movie entirely. They did not make this movie look like it was gonna be good. After watching it, after taking the time to really sink my teeth into it, and I came out of it with a whole different outlook on it. I'm gonna just take you through my thought process of the movie. So I came in, I was thinking like, man, this is gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy Superman. You know, he's not a bad director, but like a lot of the stuff that he's done, I haven't really fucked with. I haven't vibed with, because it's kind of all been the same after Guardians, at least to me. And I felt like his humor was not going to be good implemented into the kind of character that Superman is, because Superman, compared to like Guardians of the Galaxy, he's a lot more serious, and the tone is different than the things that I've seen James Gunn do. So I didn't know if he was going to be able to properly handle a character like Superman. And, you know, in the beginning, I was a little bit worried, because I'm like, you know, this is still kind of like, it's okay, but it wasn't like fantastic or anything. And really quick, I kind of realized that it's not trying to be more than what it is. And I was looking for all the flaws in the movie that I could, but every time I would try to look for a flaw, it gave me a lot of things that I actually liked in return. And throughout the movie, it did that. I was like, oh, this is kind of weird, but then like, this is really cool. And then this is also really cool. What the fuck? This joke landed. This thing was funny. Oh, but this thing kind of fell flat. Oh, but this thing is really cool. And it was kind of back and forth. And throughout the rest of the movie, there was a certain point that got to me that like really made me laugh, and then it made me smile. And then the things that Superman did were making me smile. And then the way that things were happening were keeping me smiling. And then it just kept going and going and going. And by the end of the movie, I still had this smile on my face like, holy shit, James Gunn actually did it. He actually gave me a enjoyable Superman movie. And I think that's the best way to describe this. It's not the best thing ever made. It's not one of James Gunn's best movies by far. But as a Superman movie, as a Superman experience, this was by far a really, really enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I do actually love it. I love the movie. And there is a lot to like here. And what he's setting up with the DCU, by the end of the movie, I was super excited for. The entire time when they were doing certain things and they were setting certain things up, but like, you know, kind of hinting at stuff, I was like, my whole nerdy brain was like running a mile a minute trying to be like, oh shit, that could connect to this. This would be really cool to see this later on. And it left me wanting to see more. I wanted to see the next thing. I want to see where this goes, because by the end of it, it was a really, really pleasant experience. And it left me wanting to see more of what comes next. And I want to see where these characters go next. I want to see more of his Superman. I really enjoyed his Superman. However, I enjoyed his Superman. And I'm not going to get into a lot of spoilers in this first part, but I gotta say, his Clark needs a little bit. I need a little bit more time with Clark, because I'm not sure if I'm sold of him being Clark Kent. However, when he's with Lois and not just by himself as Clark, I feel like, you know, their chemistry together is honestly really good. I enjoyed that part, and it took me away of like, okay, I'm not really fucking with this, but here's something that I do like, and I can focus on that instead. And that kind of reminds me of how I felt about his suit. When I first saw what his suit was gonna look like, I was like, I really don't fuck with this suit. I don't like how it looks. I don't like the armor-ish looking thing. It kind of reminded me a lot of how his suit looks in Injustice, but like a little bit more flexible and less like armor. But in the movie, when I actually sat down and watched it, there was so much going on and so much to latch onto and focus to that I completely forgot that I did not like his suit. It took my eyes off of it long enough to where I completely forgot that it's not the best looking suit. And you know what? By the end of it, I kind of it grew on me. The suit grew on me towards the end of the movie because I completely was more focused on him actually doing Superman shit than the little minutia detail of like, the suit's not the greatest. But I think overall, by the end of it, I was really, really fascinated with how well he sold me on it, because every time I would record something around this new Superman, I was like always trying to shit on it. And I was always like, you know what, this is not going to be the greatest thing. I'm more looking forward to, a lot of it had to do with the marketing. The marketing of this thing was absolutely atrocious. Left a bad taste in my mouth. I was not looking forward to this movie until the reviews came out. The reviews kind of made me like, okay, you know, this may have potential. But before that, before the reviews started coming out, I was like, man, from what we've seen, I'm not really that interested. I really am okay with just having Christopher Reeves and Henry Cavill and watching those movies. I don't need the James Gunn one. But going through the experience of watching it, I came out of it with a different tune. And I'm so glad that I went to see it, because I think that it was worth the time. It was worth the time. It was worth the money to go see. And not a lot of movies nowadays are like that. And this is a rare one, and it probably isn't going to do the best because of the marketing, but I guarantee you, when people watch it on streaming, they're going to actually blow up, and that movie is going to get the recognition it deserves, hopefully, because that movie deserves it, absolutely deserves it. And overall, I would think that the movie is very enjoyable. There was a lot of music in the movie that I didn't really connect with. My fiance also said the same thing. That's why she kind of gave it a lower review, but also that it was a little bit slow in a lot of places. It just needs to do better in the next one. The next one needs to do better. But she rated it a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10 for me, because I ended up loving this by the end. And there are a few issues with him being Clark and the song choices, but other than that, to me, there really wasn't a lot to dislike about it. And a lot of the problems I did see, I could kind of put in the back of my mind, because the enjoyable experience, first and foremost, was enough to make me like the movie that much more. And a lot of the criticisms that I had, and still do have, I don't think warrant me shitting on the movie or giving it a super terrible review, because they're like minor compared to everything that happens in the movie and a lot of good the movie does. The good outweighs the bad in this movie. That's the best way to sum it down. The good outweighs the bad, and it's an enjoyable experience. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, wait to watch this part of the video, come back to it after you've seen it, and we'll talk about what happens in the movie, because there is some good shit, if you're a nerd, to talk about in this fucking movie. Holy shit. Holy shit. That fucking plot twist with his parents was fucking crazy. Especially if you've seen a certain little show. I'm gonna put the picture up because I can't spoil this, because my fiance is sitting right next to me and hasn't seen what I'm referencing. But you know, when you watch the video, you will know, because I will put the picture up on the screen of what I'm talking about, where his parents want him to conquer the earth and be a tyrant. Dude, that shit is crazy. Having that dynamic and having him like, oh fuck, my parents aren't good people, that was a heavy hitter. I was actually surprised they went that route. And James Gunn, I gotta commend you. You fucking cooked with that, dog. That was such a good plot twist that I was not expecting, and it really gave him a little bit more depth that we've not seen from Superman in any other film, because it's such a different, unique take on it. And I think it was very, very much needed, because it's hard to do different things with Superman when it's pretty much the same shit over and over, just with a different, actor, add different villains. But having that a little bit emotional depth to it that was completely different than the others, it makes it more unique. And I really commend him adding something like that. And where they throw you off, I think, can be a little bit jarring. With him landing down, getting beat up, and he's already been as Superman for 3 years. And then you have to try to figure out, okay, well, if he's been doing this for 3 years, what's going on with Lex? And then they tell you what's going on with Lex. And then they're like, okay, where's his relationship out with Lois? Does he even have a relationship with Lois? We find out he does. They're boyfriend, girlfriend, but she's a little bit more on the fence about it. She knows he's Superman now. You know, some of those moments you would have liked to see with these new characters have already been done off screen. So it can be a little bit like, oh man, that would have been nice to see. But in comparison to what the movie is trying to tell and the story that it's trying to tell, it's not needed. And I think what I like the most about this movie is that James Gunn puts the story first and foremost. And he really wanted to tell a good Superman story and a unique Superman story that hasn't been told before. And he did it. He told a Superman story that has not been told before in the way it's being told. And what I mean by that is with the other plot twists that he throws in there. With Ultraman. Originally, I thought Ultraman was going to be revealed to be his dad. Some way, somehow, I thought that was going to be his dad. I think that's just because of the reference that I was talking about of what it's based on or what it was, you know, similar to. But when they revealed that it's fucking a clone of Superman, that gave me fucking Superman Christopher Reeves vibes when they did that with him. And I know that's a thing in the comic books where Lex clones Superman. I was not expecting him to do that in this movie at all, though. Even though the hints were there. The hints were there. And that's how he gets into this Fortress of Solitude. It just all clicked. It all clicked. And it was so fascinating. I loved it. I fucking was not expecting that. Absolutely diverted my expectations. And then, you know, a lot of people were saying that Lex is like this super evil monster. Yeah, he's fucked. Don't get me wrong. He is dark. But I straight up dead ass the way they were making him sound, and people were over fucking hyping Lex up to be this evil fucking maniacal monster. He's you know, he kills a guy. That's like, you know, that's compared to everything else we've seen from a villain, that's like chump change. You know, he killed a guy in front of Superman. Like the way people were describing him, like he was the most evil, irredeemable monster. And to me, like the only way he would ever get that title to me is if he would have fucking killed Crypto. And when I was telling you, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like how they're setting this up where everything was falling down on Lex. I dead ass thought he was about to kill Crypto. I dead ass thought he was about to kill his dog out of retaliate. That's how much I was like, he's supposed to be an evil monster. The only way I see him as an evil monster is if he kills Superman's dog. I mean, he did torture his dog, but I mean, like, I guess, I don't know. I don't see him as like that evil. I mean, he is fucked up, but he would have been more evil to me if he killed Crypto's dog, if he would have killed Superman's dog. Regardless of that, this actor did a phenomenal job playing Superman's fucking biggest hater. He does not fucking like Superman whatsoever. Bro fucking went on a generational run of doing nothing the entire movie but hating that motherfucker. He does not dislike him. He doesn't have some sort of like secret like urge to be Superman. He fucking outright hates that motherfucker. That is one of the best portrayals of Lex I have ever seen because of that hatred for Superman. And it's so petty. It's so petty. And that is Lex to a T. Lex is petty as fuck. Absolutely phenomenal job by Nicholas Hoult. That motherfucker, he's my Lex. Now, I'm not gonna go so far to say that David Cornsweet's my Superman. He's a great Superman. And I was wanting his Superman to fall somewhere between Christopher Reeves, you know, having that heart, that charisma that he has as Superman, and the sauce that Christopher Reeves has, which is completely different to Henry Cavill's. Henry Cavill has aura, not sauce, but he also has the more serious tone as Superman, whereas Christopher Reeves is a little bit more goofy and more comical. David Cornsweet, I wanted to be somewhere in between. I want him to have some of the heart of Christopher Reeves and the sauce of Christopher Reeves and the goofiness of Christopher Reeves, while also having the aura and the seriousness of Cavill. And he perfectly slots right in the middle between the two. Exactly where I wanted them to be. I think that's another reason why I enjoyed it so much. He put him right where I wanted him. I didn't want him to be better than one of the other two. I wanted him to be his own, right there in the middle, where honestly, he fit just perfectly. He fit perfectly in the middle of the two. And honestly, his sticks out different than the rest. And that's a good thing. He didn't try to copy Christopher Reeves. He didn't try to copy Cavill. He ended up becoming his own thing. And that is going to make him very, very interesting to watch when you get to the next movie with him in it. And I'm excited to see him come back and portray Superman again. And how many years they keep him on, I will be there watching for his Superman, because his Superman was great. And I can only wait to see how they do Batman, because Batman's my favorite personally, but having this Superman interact with Batman is going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be fucking awesome. I mean, that's honestly it. I mean, I could go into a little bit more in depth, but I'm going to have to wait to do my in-depth movie analysis and breakdown once the movie's on streaming and I can watch it a few more times. And I will be seeing this movie again, that's for sure. That's my ultimate takeaway, is that I want to watch this movie again. Oh, you know what? I will say that people were saying that he really doesn't have a lot of like action in this movie. I think that's bullshit. He spends a lot of the movie fighting people or fighting things. He gets a lot of, he gets beat up, sure, a lot. But yeah, I never found myself thinking that he didn't have a lot of action. And that fucking ending sequence where he's fucking beating the shit out of the other version of him, and then all of those little fucking robot minions come after him, and then he goes up in the air and then fucking lasers them all, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? That was fucking peak. Hello? Did we watch the same fucking movie here? Are we not gonna say that was not fucking badass? Because it was. That fucking was badass. I don't understand, dude. Oh my god. Anyways, that's gonna be it from me. I'll do another review once the movie comes out to streaming. But I'm excited to see this movie again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces, everybody. Bye-bye.